but I do love the sound of the lock-on mechanic paired with its visual cue on screen. So let's talk about the lock-on system and what we're going to use to destroy every single assumed Earth-invading ship, tank, and robot. As you start Layer Section 2, you are treated to an intro of an invading fleet of spaceships heading for Earth, while you and another ship proceed to fly out and decimate this massive enemy force. Like a majority of shoot-em-ups, there's an array of different futuristic tanks, ships, and boss vehicles to fight against. These are all modeled in 3D polygons as opposed to the 2D sprites, which I think was surprising for a Saturn game of that time. It doesn't have the detailing that the 2D sprite art styles can convey with its simple textures, but I think it makes up for it in scale and depth of the 3D model being used quite well. I remember hearing that the Saturn was worse at these type of graphics than the PlayStation was, but it's done well here. Combine this with some amazing parallax scrolling, background effects, notably the space fleet battle, and it's quite a treat to see. The audio is okay, nothing about the music is particularly memorable to me, but I do love the sound of the lock-on mechanic paired with its visual cue on screen. So let's talk about the lock-on system and what we're going to use to destroy every single Earth-invading ship, tank, and robot. In Layer Section 2, it has a foreground and background in which the enemies can appear and sometimes switch between layers for you to attack. The background enemies that may appear underwater or on the ground, or even further in space, can be attacked using your lock-on weapon. The more enemies you lock onto before firing, the max being 8 or 16 depending on the ship you choose, the higher your score multiplier will be. Your primary weapon will be destroying enemies in the foreground, basically the ones that are in the same plane or layer as your ship. So, navigating a stage to destroy every enemy in the foreground while simultaneously trying to lock onto the background enemies can be engaging, and you can also lock onto enemies that have multiple parts in the same layer section. If you see what I did, in the same plane as you. The enemy bullets, lasers, and explosions aren't too frantic. However, there are moments that I wish that the ship would move just a little faster for dodging those. I did feel that some slowdown occurs, but nothing that detracted too much from the experience of playing this game. And it's a great experience overall. I'm giving Layer Section 2 a 7 out of 10. It's a great game to add to your shoot 'em up collection for the Saturn. It's quite fun. It feels rather simple, scoring-wise, mechanically. It just feels like one of those games that is very solid, and it's just great at what it does, and it has a good feel for a shmup. And one of the highlights was definitely that space fleet battle. That flying against that huge capital ship and seeing all those missiles and lasers and different spaceships come after you, that was a lot of fun. I'm quite a sucker for that aesthetic and feel, and that's why I still like shmups, because you're always pitted against fleets and fleets of enemies. Sometimes massive ones that can be portrayed like in this one. And it's awesome. It makes you feel really nostalgic. And it's definitely of a type that is different from the Danmaku bullet hell style that has become much more prevalent for shmups nowadays. But yeah, I think that you should check this out. It has a great amount of fun to be had in it still. So, thanks for watching. I'll talk to you later.